Hello everyone, what's up? So this is a new channel. It's called MisterCode, and as you guessed, it's a coding channel, definitely. So yeah, and let me ask something. So we'll be going over like everything there is to coding and all that stuff. Like it also we'll be going over like six languages: Lua, Java, Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So this one is for you Roblox lovers out there. Like I play a game called Roblox, and yeah, it's used in development over there, and more on that later. So yeah, so there's Lua, Java, Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but maybe not JavaScript just yet because still learning it. And but we'll definitely start trying to incorporate HTML and CSS into this series or this channel in general. So yeah, let's get started. So Lua is like a it's the language I use like when I'm like okay, let's so basically if you've heard of something called Roblox, you probably and you play it, you probably know that the games created over there are not by Roblox. They're created by the community. Now, what do I mean by this? If you've heard of Unity, it's like a game engine. There's a similar game engine called Roblox Studio, where you make games, you can code, and all that fun stuff. And mostly, I used to be a coder. I'm not really doing that much anymore. But comment down below and let me know if you want any coding tutorials on that. And I'll be happy to get started with videos on that as well. So you can make a Roblox game as well. I'll create some tutorials on that as well. So yeah, we're not gonna be going into like Roblox Studio installation because mainly today we're gonna be focusing on Java, Python, HTML, CSS, because those are like the. I mean, Lua is an actual language, but I mean here we're using it for like real life development. Okay, so Java and Python. So these are like the server side backend languages and use and server side coding. These are like the building blocks, as I would say. Like for example, you go to google.com, right? Google.com, and then you have all this stuff. You have Gmail, images, your stuff here, like your profile pic, your waffle. You have all this stuff. So basically, what's going on here? If you go to inspect element, I'm pretty sure you've played around with this before. Don't lie, come on. Okay, fine. Uh, so as you can see, this is all HTML, but this inspector was created with a server side language. And since this is server side, the client cannot access this. They cannot access the server side code. I mean, at least here you can play around with this. Like, you could change some stuff here. Like, let's change this. Let's not add this. And then you could see like it's just gonna like break down, just and you could see that's it's just gone. But like the moment you refresh it, it's back. Because obviously it's like it's not you can't make actual changes. Only the owners of Google can. But my point is you can't really see all those server side languages. Like when you open inspect, you can console. There's no looks like there's no JavaScript console logs. Looks there's literally like no you can't really see any server side language like Java, Python, or whatever. You can't see those anywhere. So yeah, that's why they're called server side languages. Now HTML and CSS, what we just saw in the inspector was HTML. Like this is HTML and this is CSS right here. This is like this, and we'll get into web development later, but this is just an introduction video. I just want to let you know like what there is. And it's basically it's basically that. And I want to recommend a book for JavaScript. I'm using it currently to learn it. It's called Sam's Teach Yourself JavaScript in 24 Hours. It's the seventh edition. So yeah, I'll try to leave a link in the description. If not, then yeah, I'll try. So um, so next we'll be discussing an IDE. So now what is an IDE exactly? An IDE is uh, uh, an IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's a place where you can compile, and execute your code safely. Without an IDE, you can't do Java or Python. You need it because in the very basics of computers, they run on something called binary, which is just zeros and ones, and us humans can't really interpret that. We just see zeros and ones. We can't really interpret, oh, it means, oh, hello world or something. It means false. It means a boolean value. And I don't expect you to know all this stuff. I'll have tutorials on it. So yeah, I just basically the point is that these IDEs are used to convert our code that we can actually like understand and read, and write, to into like binary computer code, stuff the computer can understand. And stuff like in Java, you have like the JVM, you have the JDK, stuff like that. Now, there are some online IDEs that I want to get into right now. So I'll just show you one that I use. It's called jdoodle.com. And as you can see, I have like all sorts of languages here. You have Lua, Ada, Fortran. These are some old languages also. They're like, I'm pretty sure a language called Basic is also there. Yep, Basic. I, yeah. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's CSS. Yeah, as you can see, it's a CSS, JavaScript, HTML environment as well. We have Python and Java Advanced. Yeah. And by the way, just a note, JavaScript is not Java. They're two completely different languages. So yeah, just a note. They're not the same thing. So there's Java, and don't worry about this. We'll be getting into this code in a future tutorial. Not right. This is not for right now. So yeah, this it just has this, and interactive is like you can read user input and all, and you could see JDK, the term I just used before. And then there's advanced. I mean, it doesn't really matter which one you use. The advanced one, we're not going to be really using that. We'll just use the regular one when we need to. And this is like for like OOP and all. We'll get into that later. But mainly when we're dealing with that, we're just gonna use an external IDE. I'm just gonna explain that after. So yeah, let's go to Python now, because we're not gonna be using this online IDE for stuff like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We'll just be using a proper text editor. And yeah, this is Python. Yeah. So that's the online IDE. Now let me show you the external IDEs that you can install on your desktop. So I use a website called JetBrains.com, and they have a ton of IDEs. I mean, by ton I mean like a lot. Let me show you. So JetBrains.com, and then we have the developer tools. We have app code, C line. This is used for like C sharp, C++, regular C. But mostly, the ones we're going to be using are IntelliJ IDEA and PyCharm. So IntelliJ IDEA, we're going to be using that for Java. So if we click on download, I mean, it's not. I don't want to download it because I already have it. But yeah, you can download Computer Edition or Ultimate. And before I actually get into this, I wanted to tell you about something else. So before actually downloading these environments, you need to download uh, the language itself, like the so you have like that runtime environment. For Python, you could just search up python.org, and yeah, you could just download it right there. So yeah, that's that. And then there's JDK download as well. Sorry, Java. So you could just go down here if you're like in the future. Just I don't know what to do because it could change in the future, but this is what is now as of July 2022. Windows. You have an x64 installer. You can download that, and that's what I downloaded. And yeah, once you do that, let's go back to IntelliJ. JetBrains.com. Okay, so download. I recommend you download the community edition because it's free. I mean, there's a 30-day free trial, but I mean, it's gonna expire, and you're gonna have to download this one after. If you don't want to pay, you're gonna have to download this one anyway. But if you do want to, if you want the Ultimate Edition and you want to pay for it, and go for it. Uh, there's no. We'll be able to do everything we really need to do in the Community Edition itself. And there's the same thing with PyCharm. Let's see. Oops. Here, download. So yeah, it's the same thing with PyCharm Professional Community 30-day free trial. But I just use the Community Edition because it's free. It's available to everyone. Yeah. Sorry about that. My throat's a bit dry. Anyways, yeah. So now let's go look into text editors, which we're using for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the one I'm going to be using is called VS Code, Visual Studio. Oh, VS Code. Code.Visual Studio. Okay, there it is. Okay, so it's called code.visualstudio.com, and you can just download it for Windows. And once you open it, let's see. Okay, it's loading. Give it a sec. Do you know what? Never mind. Just close that out. I'll just show you later. Okay, so you just design it, download it. I'll have a separate video linked on how to like set up VS Code, but I don't want to get too much into that right now. So yeah, so once you download these IDEs, they should be all ready to go. But make sure when you're downloading the IDEs, you have the respective things download, like the JDK. You need to have the JDK for Java and the Python for Python. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure to leave a like, smash that subscribe button. It's only like 1 second. Just takes a second. I'm just asking for a second of your life to please smash the subscribe button. It will really help this channel out a lot, and more people will be able to watch this content. And yeah, make sure to share it with your friends as well. So yeah, and I'll see you in the next one.